A black market still exists, which is wild, and it's not a small one.
How good is it? Because now I'm almost intrigued. Like, how good does it have to be?
Hello everyone,
Hi everyone,
I am Waldemar,
and I'm Weronika.
and today we are watching a video from the channel we have never seen before. It's called Salmonella Academy or Salmonella. I don't know, it sounds like a disease, to be honest. And it's called Banned and Controversial Foods.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be banned and controversial foods in America, but that's just an assumption I'm making.
No, I think like in a history.
Oh, you think in history?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
okay.
think it's like worldwide, like for example, like they are killing some animal that is endangered in some, other part of the world.
Oh yeah, that's
And
a smarter
why-
look. Maybe that's
That's why
true.
it's banned.
Okay.
I don't think like it's banned in America because, in America,
Nothing is banned.
if you can deep fry it, they will eat it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that there's going to be some sad stories about animals here. But I'm braced for it, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can expect that.
And if it's
So-
banned, then it's a happy ending, right? So that's gonna be fine.
Or maybe there are no more animals of this kind to eat.
That is quite possible.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Brace yourself. Brace
Yeah,
yourself.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Classical music. Today's episode.
Hey Majors, so I'd like to start off
Hey,
with a
who?
little biology lesson. When a species finds itself living on an island, it can start to evolve in strange ways based on the different pressures applied by the new environment. This is called island syndrome, and while
Yeah.
it can manifest in a lot of ways, the biggest driving force is often a lack of predators. For example, the dodo lost its ability to fly since there was nothing to flee from. The Saint Kilda field mouse got twice as big since it no longer had to hide. And with no one around to bully them, the Sardinians started putting maggots in their cheese. Meet Casu marzu, literal translation, rotten cheese. It's made by taking a perfectly good wheel of pecorino and letting a special type of fly lay eggs in it. The fly babies then work to partially digest the cheese, rendering it goopy and wet and maybe quite tasty and worm-filled. Now, cheese as a concept is already quite suspect. It's clotted milk that you fill with bacteria and mold and let sit for a while.
Yeah.
But cheese is safe and delicious. Cheese is my friend. I trust cheese. So my guard would be down around Casu marzu. I've learned to look past a cheese's childhood. Strange upbringings are what give them their character. But it turns out, those maggots are still alive. And if you don't chew well enough,
Excuse
they can
me?
cause enteric myiasis, which is a fancy term for fly larvae living in your intestines. Symptoms are similar to food poisoning, except with the added psychic pain of knowing that, again, your bowels are full of squiggly new friends. It's for this reason that Casu marzu is banned in the EU and elsewhere. A black market still exists, which is wild, and it's not a small one. In 2019, the illicit Casu marzu trade was estimated to be worth
How good is it? Because now I'm almost
Yeah.
intrigued. Like, how good does it have to be? Like,
Some guys meeting in an alley somewhere like, do you have it?
did you have it? Yeah, I have.
Do you have the money? Yes. Show it to me.
It's like, oh, listen, you can have buy free things. Like, I have drugs, I have, I don't know, some illicit videos, and I have this delicious cheese. But if you don't chew it well enough, then the worms are going to live in your belly. What? And I think
Yeah,
it's-
it's basically like drugs, It's so good that it can kill you.
yeah, but I'm just really, really intrigued because how good does it have to be so that you want to eat it and that you, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's a different level of cheese. Like he said, cheese is already suspicious, and then you have the a fermented cheese, with
Yeah.
the green
Moldy cheese, right?
Yeah, moldy cheese. Yeah, with the green mold on it
Or blue.
or blue, and I like it very much.
Yeah, because
Veronika,
you're
not
sick in
so
the head.
much. Yeah.
But yeah.
But this is like I said, a completely different level of craziness.
2 to 3 million euros annually. Personally, I would just do it prohibition style, like definitely don't put these fly eggs on this sumptuous wheel of pecorino. But if you do, you absolutely shouldn't keep it warm and damp for a week. But although it's traditional to leave the larvae
You know what it means? There was this story in Prohibition that selling alcohol and buying alcohol was illegal, but you could buy packs of dried fruits or something like that.
Mhm.
from-
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
shop.
I remember it from the oversimplified video.
Yeah. I'm talking about oversimplified. And then they said, "Oh, you shouldn't do that because if you will do that, then accidentally alcohol may arrive."
I think people in the States, they will be familiar with that because I know in some states where weed is not legal, but you can buy it and it just says that you should definitely never put this in any vicinity of the fire. And if it would be to produce any fumes, you should definitely not inhale them.
Yeah.
alive when you eat your mag and cheese. Some
Mac
consumers
and
still prefer
cheese.
them dead, shockingly. In that case, one puts the cheese in a sealed bag, and when the maggots run out of oxygen, they writhe around and fling themselves all over the place. This is heard as a distinct pitter-patter against the walls of the bag, and when the sound stops, the contents are ready to eat, like popcorn. Shark fin soup is what
my
most of us have heard
God.
about already, mostly in reference to its effect on
Yeah,
shark
I heard about
populations
this.
and the wastefulness
Yeah.
that goes into making it. Until recently, though, I never looked into the nature of the dish itself. I figured, right, the fins are just the only part of the shark worth eating. Big whoop, it's probably not much different from, like, swordfish. Apparently, though, I had it backwards. Shark fins aren't even meat. They're made almost entirely of cartilage and collagen. They are the last part we should be eating. That's why it's only made into soup, because without being soaked in broth, it has zero flavor or nutritional value on its own. Their only redeeming quality is their unique mouthfeel due to how stringily the collagen grows, in structures called ceratotrichia. The texture has been described as somewhere between chewy and crunchy, which I find describes most things, actually. Other adjectives present on Wikipedia
very
include
true.
snappy, gelatinous, and sinewy. The exact sensation of eating this substance remains a mystery to me, and the unintended side effect of all this research is that I now really want to try it. Like, it's a big trade. I've got to be the
felt
one
that
that's wrong.
too.
There is imitation shark fin soup available, but I've already decided that it's not nearly as good. So I've come up with a compromise to this controversy. Everyone on Earth gets just one bite. Say there's 10 bites to a fin, 4 fins to a shark, 200 million sharks die, sure, a necessary casualty, but then we can end the practice forever. All done. You can finally rest, Mr. Ming. Come here, baby. Aw. Ackee. What? Ackee. Where? Ackee. The ackee is a fruit originally from West Africa, which is most commonly associated with Jamaican cuisine, where it appears in such dishes as ackee and saltfish. These alien kidneys here are called the arils, and they're the
Ooh.
only part of the fruit that's actually eaten. The flavor is on the savory side, being described as kind of nutty or bean-like. What makes the ackee controversial, though, is the effects it can cause when prepared improperly. If the arils are allowed to completely ripen, they're harmless, but if you eat them too early, or don't thoroughly clean off all the non-aril stuff, they can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. This disease doesn't sound
Great.
real. It sounds like it belongs next to Eastern sweats and Tangerian bone grindings, but that's actually an official term, and as for symptoms, it does what it says on the tin. Plus maybe death. While ackee-based products aren't outright illegal in the United States, they are very tightly regulated, and the raw fruit itself cannot be imported. So if you're American and want to try it, your options are fully cooked canned ackee or going to Florida where a few people grow it domestically. Next we have
I must say I'm impressed because we were always complaining about Americans that they don't care about their population, like the American government doesn't care about their people.
Yeah.
Because here in Europe, we have like institutions that will ban foods that are harmful for
Harmful,
people.
yeah.
So it's nice to see
Something
that
is
you're
banned.
also doing your homework too.
But I think, I don't know if he's gonna mention that, but this fruit is making me think of that fish, right? The fish that you only eat, you can eat one part of. I think no, not the bladder.
Oh, yeah, I know.
How's the word? That's the bladder.
The blowfish, the
Yeah,
Japanese blowfish.
Yeah, but you can only eat the balloony thingy. What is that called, for God's sake? Like the stomach.
I don't know, but people will know.
Yeah. That one. I think that's the only one that you can eat, right? And if it's prepared improperly and there's contamination from different part of the fish, then you die.
Yeah, like how tasty it has to be.
I think in this case, maybe in the case of the cheese as well, I feel like it's no longer about how tasty it is. It's just like an adrenaline rush. But it's like an adrenaline. I can kind
not
of
really
get behind
adrenaline
it though,
rush.
because I'm lazy. So like, I'm not gonna bungee jump. I'm not gonna go paraglide. But I could eat something that someone puts in front of my nose for the adrenaline.
I don't know if it's adrenaline because you will not eat it if like someone will cook it at home. You'll be like, are you sure you know how to do this? Yeah, no worries. I watched a YouTube video about it.
I don't know.
But people, if they are eating it, like in Japan, they have a certain restaurants that are qualified to prepare this kind of food.
I still wouldn't trust them though. I don't know.
But people are crazy when it comes to food. Like, we will kill an entire species of sharks just because there is this feeling, when you taste the soup. It's like, it's so interesting. So we will kill all the sharks. But also, we are not afraid to put our lives on the line when it comes to eating something that tastes interestingly.
We have bird's nest soup. This is another one that I've vaguely heard of, and for years I just assumed
I
the
don't know
name
what
was
it
a
is, yeah?
playful metaphor, like ants on a log or shit on a shingle. Turns out, nope, this
Yeah,
dish
sure.
contains an actual bird nest, not like a pile of twigs like I was picturing, but rather a specific type of nest only made by certain species of swiftlets. These nests are mostly made out of mucins, which are a set of proteins that, among other things, serve to thicken all those wonderful secretions our bodies make. There's a little bit in human saliva, a little bit more in mucus, and in swiftlet saliva saliva, look out, pal. So all the swiftlet does is it finds a nice wall, starts laying out fat strings of slobber, which dry, and eventually she's got a nice place to roost. That is, right up until some gourmand says,
Today I crave bird spit. You can keep the eggs though.
and they then reconstitute it back into its original gelatinous
no.
texture. Unfortunately,
That's
these
the
nests
worst.
can't enter the US since, believe it or not, eating bird saliva is a great way to catch bird flu. And now the time has come to speak of the ortolan.
No, I
The
need to
ortolan-
recover a
you need
second.
and then you need to pay for the eggs, $11.
12, I think.
I don't know.
Ortolan is a kind of bunting, which is a sort of passerine, which is a type of bird. They're birds. Like many animals, they have a long history of being eaten by the French, but what separates the ortolan from your average squab or pheasant is the unique way in which it is prepared and eaten. They're typically caught with nets and kept in the dark, which causes them to overeat for some reason. Once it's about twice as fat, the entire bird is then thrown into a container of brandy, alive, and sealed in. While this serves to marinate the creature, it also drowns in the process, thereby killing one bird with no stones. The ortolan is then roasted, plucked, and presented whole to the consumer, who inserts the carcass into their mouth, feet first. As they chew, one hand continues holding the bird's head, while the other picks out the
what?
larger bones. This whole ritual is usually performed with a towel or large napkin over one's head. There's a few explanations for the purpose of the towel. Some say it's just there to keep the aromas in, while others say it's there to, quote, shield from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act.
I think it does
Yeah,
that.
this one I'm okay with not trying, actually. Notable fans of this dish include, not joking, Bill Cosby and the guy who invented the lobotomy. To be part of that social club. Our mission is to eat birds whole and then make people not remember things. Killing ortolans was banned across the EU in 2007.
This
Not
just
for any
sounds
ethical
disgusting.
reason, but because French people did this so much that the entire ortolan population was threatened. Thankfully, as of 2018, their conservation status is under least concern, so hopefully the French can get back to it soon. Anyway, that's all I have for today.
Can you
You paused
imagine?
in the best possible moment. I think that's the end.
As usual. But can you imagine those ortolans? Like when you look at the other birds, they were like pigeons. You see them everywhere, and people will feed them sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you're ortolan, you will be drowned alive in a bottle of liquor, and then you will be devoured by a person who will eat you with a towel on their
also-
head.
Yeah, but this
Like-
is just such a strange. Like all these things related to food, I cannot wrap my head around. Like, how do you come up with that ritual? Like, what? It's the same as if with foie gras, and we all know foie gras. Most of us probably try foie gras. Like, how do you come up with doing this excruciating process?
I don't think most of us tried foie gras.
Well, I mean, maybe not most of us, but a lot of
it's
people.
more popular because of all those cooking shows.
Yeah, but how do you come up with that? And also, are there still
How do you tell me? You better tell me how you come up with eating a bird's nest made of saliva. Like who was like, oh, but I need to. It looks disgusting, but I have to try it.
right? Like, look at this weird growth on the wall. I'm gonna try eating it.
Yeah, I think we've reached the point when we should stop speaking about it anymore because it can end.
But I have one very important question.
Yeah.
When you marinate the bird in the brandy and then you eat it, does it still have the feathers?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's not cooked, right? It's raw. It's just marinated. What's the? I mean, why?
You know what? I would Google it, but I don't want to. So, like, if you know something about this, then
Don't
maybe
tell us.
No. Maybe tell us, like in the comments, but like very dry
Yeah,
description.
just the details. Yeah.
Like no details, just like you would see a crime scene,
Yeah.
and you would describe a crime scene like
And if
there is a bird with the birds, he's consumed, and then there is no bird.
Anymore.
End of story. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to, you can also share. I think that would be fun. The concept of fun is very far away from me right now, but you could share what was like the strangest thing you've ever eaten, if you'd like. That would be fun.
What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
I have no thoughts in my head right now.
Kefir?
That's the most
Veronika is
disgusting
not
thing
a,
I've
not,
ever
not a fan
eaten.
of a kefir.
No, because it's just goodbye. We'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye.
Bye.